If this gets hair, he'll have an allergic reaction.
It's not going to get hair. It's going to be in the. It's going to be in the back room.
There's already cat hair all over my mic.
He's sitting in a chair that has cat hair all over it. Because of this thing.
You're not that allergic. You're allergic in the way that just would make you complain.
I'm definitely allergic to cats.
Yes, he definitely is.
He's not deathly
allergic. If I touch
allergic.
it, I instantly break out in hives. With like a ball.
Yeah,
of disease.
if you touch a lot of things, you break out in hives. You can eat like if you eat one bite of whitefish.
No, I don't know if it's whitefish.
Yes,
it happens. It happens like once every like 3 years. I break out in hives, and it's bad. I wake up in the middle of the night, entire body covered, itchy, disgusting.
Yeah,
I always think I'm gonna die, and I'm like,
you're a drama queen about it.
What do you mean? When your entire body is coated in hives, it's terrifying.
Mom, you look nice. You're wearing a dress.
Thank you.
She has her feet out too. Mom, how much do you sell those feet for online?
She has her feet out too.
Like, how much would you charge for feet?
$25.
That's
Not
it.
enough.
That's really bad.
It's not enough.
You need to work on
That's
your
just feet
foot pricing.
If feet are in like other stuff, then it's
When are you
more.
going to bring Kate and come visit me?
We were talking about it.
She's fiending for people to come. Dakota and I just went.
Yeah, you just
seriously.
went. We went with you 2 weeks ago, and then you went again with Dakota.
I know.
You're insane.
She needed
How
her
is that
TV home and
insane?
didn't have anyone.
How is that insane?
Because
It's really
we literally just went. I'll come with Kate soon, Kendi. Don't worry. I know you're lonely. I know you need your big brother. I know you miss me.
I want Claudia and Jesse to come visit me too.
Yeah.
They have to go before they get their puppy.
That's in a week. Claudia's not going to leave her house when she has this dog.
No, it's like a baby.
You were going to, I can't see you going anywhere.
When he's a little bit bigger, but when he's a baby, no.
That dog's going to be treated like a goddamn human baby.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
She'll probably breastfeed it.
He's also he's going to be extremely well trained. I have clickers and little treat bags and a whole box of stuff in there for him.
Clickers? What's a clicker?
Yeah, you when click them and it makes like this popping noise. So like anytime they do good and like do what you said, you click it and they associate that sound with like, okay, I did it right.
Or, then you can take him to Dad's and he can play with Maisie.
Yeah, I'm going to, but Dad was like, I don't know how Maisie's gonna react. Like she's a little.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
Dad's gonna love him.
How old is Maisie? Isn't Maisie like older?
Mm-mm.
Oh, how
That's
old?
so
Like
sad
5?
that I can't come and see
probably
him.
like 3.
Oh,
4?
that's it?
Maybe 4. How old is Maisie?
Like probably like 4.
Who's
like that.
wheezing?
3 or 4.
Brandon. He's like this.
I don't hear that.
It sounded like he was wheezing.
He fucking his nose is whistling in the mic.
Do you hear that?
Yes.
You know when you wake up so suddenly that you just all you can you like can't even gather your thoughts for a second. I woke up and all I knew was that I was really anxious and I literally like felt like I wasn't breathing. I had to take a moment to catch my breath. It was so weird. I wasn't even
I've
having a
woken up
nightmare.
and literally can't breathe. Like, it doesn't happen often. I don't know if anyone else goes through this in life, but have you ever had that where you wake up and literally can't breathe?
No, you were telling me about that though. That would be terrifying.
Really scary. Like I literally was
you wake up and you
I
can't
could
breathe at
not
all.
catch my breath.
Mom.
No air was getting in.
Mom, I have a
Get that
thought
checked.
to share with you. You know how you've been saying a lot about how you can't wrap your head around like where we were before we came into being and how we just didn't exist and then we're here, blah, blah, whatever.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, I kind of do that with like media that was created years and years ago. Like, for example, take a show like Sex and the City. It has existed since it came out 25 years ago, 30 years ago. But I only watched it this year and then it had such an impact on my life. You know what I mean? So it's like these things can exist and we don't know about them or we just don't care about them. And then we might watch a show.
Life is going on. Life is still happening before and after.
We become, it's just
weird.
crazy what can come into your life at what time and have such an impact on it. That I do find crazy.
I was listening, or last night I was watching Yes Theory. You watch Yes Theory?
Oh yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a YouTube channel. Basically, like these guys, they just travel crazy places, whatever. But me and Jesse were watching it last night and they went to Syria and they were like walking through Syria, basically showing like all the damage that ISIS did to Syria and like these like ancient, like beautiful cities that were like built years and years and years ago.
For worship
that were just
and stuff.
destroyed and like painted on, and it was horrible. But the guy from Yes Theory, I don't know his name, but he was saying, he was like, it's crazy how someone in another country can be having like the worst day of your life while also there could be like a wedding, or someone can be being born in like another country. Like you're having the best day of your life and then these people are literally living in their worst nightmare.
I think about that all the time. I think about it all the time.
Yep.
And it's
Happens
so bizarre,
everywhere.
but it's also like, you know, what can you really do? Claudia, you're like swaddled like a baby.
I was cold.
You literally look like somebody swaddled you.
You need to go outside.
I swaddled myself. I was sitting outside.
It's
and
like
then I
80
come in and
degrees
it's like
here.
too cold
That's
in
so
here, and
weird
I'm
that it's
freezing.
always like 10 degrees warmer there than it is here.
Well, you're closer to Jersey, which Jesse's parents, it's always like 10 degrees or 5
Dude,
degrees
I'm going to
colder
fucking ask
there.
them to come hang out with me.
You should. Jesse's sister actually gets here today. She drove from Colorado to here in like
Damn.
2 days.
Wait, she's here now?
She's not here yet, but she's getting here like
That's
this
insane.
afternoon.
Oh, she's
Like
she's
to
sleeping
your
here.
house?
Yeah.
How long is she
Yeah, to our
staying here?
house.
She should go rock climbing with Jesse and I.
I don't know exactly how many. I think it's like maybe 3-4 days or something. Jesse knows nothing, and he doesn't.
Is she
tell me
staying here
things.
in your
Yeah,
house?
What
she's
the
staying
fuck?
here.
I'm so
She should have
upset.
given you 5 guest bedrooms.
Well, yeah, I know, but because it's like she's visiting some other family from like her husband's side that lives like close to here, so she obviously figured she would stay with us so she can like see the house.
I've never
and
met
stuff.
her. I'll have to come over.
Yeah.
I want to meet her so bad.
But-
This sucks.
Plan dinner or
I
something.
forgot you still haven't met her, Kennedy.
Yeah.
No.
But
Take the train, Kennedy.
yeah, if she has free time, I know she would
Bring the
love to do
cats.
that.
when Scarlett's here, I'll be able to come and visit whenever I want for like a night
Yeah.
or
I'm just gonna
something.
leave her there.
She wouldn't care.
I mean, she has friends there too.
she's basically
I know.
going to be
Her
living here
brother's
the whole
there.
summer. But yeah,
When
she
did
would
she get there?
She's like me. She can be on her own. Not for like another
not
month,
till
I think.
June, summer.
No, May.
She'll probably love that she's an entire apartment to herself.
Yeah, she's like me. She can be alone and be completely fine. That's why we get along so
Well, we
well.
come to you for the day, so you should have to come to us for the day.
She will.
Well, there's a lot more
She
to
just
do
can't
here.
leave the cats.
Yeah, but we're still your family.
I know. I
not
just
about
said that
things
I
to
will be
do.
doing that. I'll come and see the dog and everything, and
We'll be
I'll
so much
probably.
bigger within a month.
Back to my important question. Let's get down to the important stuff in this podcast, okay? I have a question for all of you. Whoever wants to answer can answer first. If you suddenly became a man tomorrow, so overnight you happen to like just grow a schlong overnight, and
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
it's a pretty good one. It's a good meaty one. Like you
Granted.
Probably cut
you
it
would,
off.
You would want to show it off in a locker room, for example. So if
No,
you,
I wouldn't.
If you suddenly
All right.
became a man,
What do the balls look like?
What do the balls look like?
Yeah.
One's like slightly larger than the other, which is usually a common thing.
Yeah,
where,
but are
like,
they
one will be a little bit
medium?
bigger.
Are they small,
So
medium, large?
Who told you that's common?
I would say like the size.
Sound like you got something wrong over there.
One's a little bigger than the other.
You convince yourself
But-
that's common.
No, I looked it up when I was like 16.
I know one hangs
so we're
lower
good.
than
I'm
the
just
other
kidding.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Probably
like
is
that,
common.
that pretty much. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Ew.
I would say like I think an avocado might be a little too large for balls. So let's
What
go.
is the question,
Let's go a little
though?
smaller than that.
Avocado.
Avocado is like big. That's like the
Avocados
size
come
of
in different
this mic
sizes.
head.
Can't wait to hear the question already.
Is it a
let's just
Wegmans
say-
avocado?
let's
Is
just
it a
say
Whole Foods avocado?
let's just say we have a very good ball to schlong ratio.
Okay,
so
whatever.
if you suddenly were to become a man tomorrow, what's the first thing that you would do?
Increase my OnlyFans pictures.
Honestly,
What?
well, would Jesse
Wait.
be a woman?
What does
No,
the
he would
top
still-
look like?
Jesse would still be a man. This is actually a great question for Jesse that we should ask if he ever comes
I'm
on the
curious.
podcast again.
Answer
If you suddenly
completely
became a man-
seriously too.
Yeah, if he suddenly became a man, would he still have the same feelings for you?
What?
Obviously not.
Guys?
Jesse's
This is
a-
straight as
this
a
is a-
fucking ruler.
Yeah, anyway, this is a different conversation for another day. He would still be a man, yes.
Okay, Claudia,
What's the
what would
first
you
thing
do?
that you would do?
Really think about it.
I would
I mean-
cry.
I'd
I
pee,
probably-
obviously.
I wouldn't want to be a man, but I don't know. I'd probably, honestly, the only thing I can think that I'd want to do is I'd want to have sex from a man's perspective.
Wait, I have a
and see how it
question.
feels.
Who would
We
you
were
do it
born.
with?
We're born. We wake up with a penis, but are we a man or are we still a woman?
Right.
What do you mean?
Like, do we still
So
have
I'm a
boobs?
boy
No,
form.
you're exactly the same inside of your head. You have a penis though.
Okay, but I'm like you.
Yeah, you're like me. You have a penis. You're a bit more masculine, but you're still Claudia.
Okay. I don't know. I guess I don't know what I would do. I'd probably freak the fuck out.
I'd obviously masturbate.
What- you would. That's
yeah,
the first
I
thing.
probably would do that.
I'd get really, really high, and I'd jank my chain.
Well, I have to say it's
you say
not as great
jank?
as you would think.
You mean
It reminds me
Jank
of
your
like
chain. That sounds
Jank your
like you're
chain.
fixing a
I meant
bike.
jank.
it reminds me of Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
That
no,
movie.
I don't know. I really don't. I don't
Okay,
know
I have a
what
question for
happened.
Mom then. Mom, if we swapped bodies like Freaky Friday, what would you do?
Jump off a bridge.
I'd be very happy
She'd
because
probably be in the mirror like, looking at her little boobs like,
No, but I love Kennedy's body because she's so thin. I'd go like apply for modeling
Mom,
or
you're
something.
thin too. You weigh like
I'm
110
not
pounds.
thin like her.
I
She's
couldn't
like
be a
thin,
model.
like model thin.
well, because Kenny's thin and tall. Mom's thin and
I'm not
short.
tall though. I'm average height.
I don't know. Compared to us.
I'd go out there and
Compared to Mom.
apply for modeling.
Why would you
thought
want
you
to
were
live in
like
New York?
5'9".
That's not a one-day thing, so you can't really do that in one day. It's like something
No,
that
I
you would do
would-
just for that one day.
Yeah.
That's I don't
You
know.
wouldn't be a model that bad? That you would
No,
go
I just
apply for
would
modeling?
because I'd have that body, so I would go do that.
That's funny. I don't do shit with this body.
What would you do,
You
Kennedy?
guys never even answered my question. You're
What?
avoiding the answer.
I would just
But-
want to go.
I said I'd cry.
I don't know.
I
wouldn't
said
wanna
I'd
do it.
masturbate.
Yeah, why are you
It's
so
what
hard
I
on
think
that?
that's
that's
do.
what he
I'm
wants.
curious.
Right,
I'd
That's what he
also
wants to hear.
probably
You need advice for your own life?
You said you would have sex with somebody. Who would you have sex with?
I don't know. I'd probably
Obviously,
tell Deb. I woke up a
Deborah.
guy today. Like, let's just do it and see.
She would definitely be down for that.
Oh my god,
I definitely would not do that.
Ugh, no, I couldn't see her like that in that light.
I would
How would that work
absolutely.
though? Because you're straight.
I would love the opportunity to have sex with a woman as a man. And I know a lot
Actually,
of
you know what I
women.
would do? I'd make Jesse suck it.
You can.
That's savage.
And he
don't think
probably
he would do
wouldn't.
that.
He probably wouldn't.
I don't
If he
think
knew
would
it
do
was
that.
still me, he might. I don't know. What's that?
As he's crying.
It's a really interesting question to open the podcast with.
You can. All you have to do is put a strap on.
I know, but it's
You
not
don't
the
feel
same.
that though.
Can you not tell your daughter to put a strap on?
She just said she would do
That's-
it once to
that's-
experience
that
it
is-
as a man.
That is
It's
gross.
not the same.
That's
On to
how
the
to
next topic.
experience
I mean,
it.
I want to be inside of a man's
It's like you-
body.
No, okay.
Oh wait, I started watching Baby Reindeer last night. I love it.
Oh, yeah, that's
It's
weird.
so
That's a
fucking
weird
That
show.
show's
funny.
a weird one.
No, that show it might be funny at first, but it's honestly just really
Yeah,
fucked
it's
up.
disturbing.
It's sad. It's so sad.
The guy
It
who
is sad.
played in it is the
yeah,
actual
he's
guy.
the actual guy.
Why would he want to be in
really?
the show?
What?
Reliving
Wait,
him
what?
getting.
Because he directed it
I didn't
too.
know that. I thought when it said this
Yeah,
is a
Kennedy,
true
it's the actual
story.
guy.
Yeah, because
was a
why
lie.
would he? If he has a chance to get a story out, on basically what he went through in life. Why
Wait,
wouldn't
he was an
want to?
actor before it happened?
No, I don't think he
No,
was
it's
an
a
actor.
comedian.
No.
A comedian.
He was-
Damn,
well,
he's
he was
such
him.
a good, but he's such a good actor.
I know he is.
Like
mean,
he's
not a great comedian.
Kenny, how far in are you?
not a great person. I'm on the beginning of the
not
third
funny.
episode.
Oh,
Did you think
the
he was
comedy
funny?
well, obviously not. The whole point was that he was not funny.
Yeah, when he was doing
Yeah.
it, I was like, he's
Look at
like
the
a
birds in the
2-year-old.
window.
It's also a different kind of comedy, though.
It's not that he's not funny, he's not confident.
It's not that. I
To
think
be a
Oh my God.
comedian, to be a
His
comedian, you have
buttons
to be
he would
confident.
push. Make me want to smack him. His jokes suck so
it's just
bad.
dumb.
No, any comedy that's on stage with props is like annoying.
Can I tell you guys about an interaction I had the other day?
No. What happened?
You said no.
You said, did you tell us about the interaction? I said, no,
I
you
said,
didn't.
can I?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Maybe if you would
I thought
lower
you meant, did I?
your insanely loud man voice, you would hear my
If you speak up and use your chest,
Kenny,
maybe
look
I'll
who
hear
it
you.
is.
feminine melodic. Oh,
She wants to join.
For those of you
so
listening,
cute.
there's
Oh, she sees
a
the
wild
birds.
animal on Claudia's couch and it just ran away.
animal.
Sorry. Go ahead, Candy. What was your interaction?
I was walking to the park the other day, and this guy was walking towards me, and he was very fit, attractive from what I could see, but he had sunglasses on, and I had sunglasses on too. And as we're walking past each other, I kind of felt like we were looking at each other a little bit. Normally that's as far as it goes because, you know, nobody really says anything to anyone. But as he walks past me, I hear him say something like, "I like your glasses." And I turn around to say thank you. And then he's pointing to his because they're the same ones. They were like Ray-Bans, some sort of Ray-Bans. And I was like, oh. And that was it. But
I was
So-
waiting for it to be so minimal.
Yeah.
So is that love at first sight for you?
no,
Maybe
he
you'll
totally,
see him again.
I have no idea what he looked like. All I ever saw was his arms. That's one thing about a man that I do find attractive is when they have nice toned arms. And so that's all I was really looking at. And he was like
How tall
sipping
was
on
he?
a smoothie. He just seemed like one of those men that's like so confident and like quick with like just can talk to girls really well, because normally guys don't say anything as they walk past me. And I can tell when they're looking at me. I have a sixth sense, but I don't know. So anytime a guy
Or you're
does
just
say something to me,
narcissistic and you think everyone's looking at you.
well, I wouldn't call that narcissistic. I would say conceited. Yes.
That reminded me, kind of, you know, the sound, the interaction that's like, you look pretty. And she's like, what? What did you say? And he was like, You look shitty.
You
Good
look
night,
shitty, Denise.
That's what it reminded me of.
We had an interaction when we went to New York, me and Dakota with Kennedy. We had an interaction with a cat
Aw.
on a
Oh,
leash at the park.
Oh,
A
It was
cat
so
on a
cute.
leash at the park.
Do you remember what his name was?
What was this exciting interaction?
Bert?
Kennedy, do you remember?
Bert.
Bert.
Was it Bert?
Bert. Yeah.
This kitten was on a leash.
She was literally walking this like 8-month-old kitten,
This
and we're
cat-
like, "Oh my god!" And we made them
This
come
is
over and say
my
hi.
little world right here.
Okay,
All I
since you
see is
guys
her
won't shut
butthole.
up about cats, I have cat facts that Cory wrote down for this episode.
Ooh.
This is probably the perfect time for some cat facts. Super exciting stuff.
It would be more exciting if it was true or false and we had to guess.
Okay,
I knew you were
true
gonna
or
say that.
false?
Well, obviously
True
these
or
are all
false?
true because you have them
Well, I'm
written
going to change it on the fly. Now you won't even know.
Okay.
Ooh.
True or false? Did you know that cats only meow to humans?
True.
Cats have evolved to meow more pleasantly to humans and rarely use it to communicate with
True.
other cats.
Wait,
True.
bing, bing, bing. I get to answer first. True, because they think it sounds like a human baby. That's why they do it.
I don't believe
I've
that
never heard
though
that.
because I hear them meow to each other all the time.
Yeah.
Mine don't
I don't
meow
think they
to each
meow
other.
to each
What
other.
if
I
meowing
think
is
they're
a sign for help? Like
they're
they want to
doing
get
it
out
in
of
the
here. Like
air.
they don't like you and they're going like,
No, they're usually talking.
they're
saying
usually talking to the
something.
ghost in the house
No, mine
or
don't.
something in the
Like
attic.
Cozy meows when she wants food, or when she wants me to get out of bed and come downstairs.
They meow before they poop.
Mine don't do that.
Mine do. You can hear them screaming.
that's weird.
This is gonna be
Are
this
they
is gonna be a
constipated?
big one. Meow.
Mom, that's another issue. Yeah, maybe if it's painful.
You know what's
for
really
them.
awkward for me when you're walking and you see a dog squatting and taking a shit?
I hate
Yeah,
that.
we
See,
saw
that's
that in
why-
the park too.
So uncomfortable. It looks like they're in pain.
That's why I couldn't have a dog because I saw the cutest dog at the park today. It was so big and fluffy. I forget what breed it was, but it was one of those really, really, really fluffy ones. Not the one we saw when we were all here. But anyways, I look at a dog, you're like, oh, it's so cute. And then it squats to shit. And I see the owner have to bend down and pick up its fresh, hot shit in its hand. And I'm like, I could just not do that.
Well, you know
Like-
who's going to be doing that? Jesse.
Well,
That's
if I
not
ever had
nice.
a
You
dog,
should split
I would
it.
toilet train it.
I bought him a
I would buy
pooper
the squatter
scooper.
potty and everything so it doesn't fuck his back up
Well,
and
you know,
stuff.
you can get your yard scooped.
That's
What?
insane. Yeah, there's poop scooping companies.
That's
Yeah,
some
they'll
rich
come
people
scoop
shit.
it.
That is rich
some
person
rich
They'll
people.
come
Bullshit.
scoop it and then put a note on your door that says you've been scooped.
It'd be cool if you could just like open up little parts of the ground and let it just sink in.
I mean, honestly, our
fertilizer.
land, like we have so much land that it probably
Yeah.
realistically wouldn't matter. But
It honestly
I
only
bought-
makes sense for you guys to get a dog because of how much land you have.
yeah, we bought. I bought Jesse a pooper scooper.
Are you guys going to do an
Why
electric
doesn't-
fence?
Why don't he? Oh, because if you
I
walk
think
them
we're gonna
around
get a real
there,
fence.
so if you walk them in the front, him in the front, you have to pick it up. But if you let them,
So you know the fence go all the way to the edge of the property?
No, I mean, I don't know. We haven't fully decided yet, but I would like to have a fence that, like, when Priscilla comes here too, which if you don't know,
Right.
that's Dev's dog, they can play together in the backyard and I don't have to worry about other animals or like other dogs.
I think it's so funny
coming in the
that
backyard.
you and Dev, first you got the same car and she got it in black and you got it in white. And now you're going to have the same dog, but in black and in blonde, basically.
Yeah.
wait, how does that work with an electric
been like our whole
fence?
life.
If the dog on that, say there's a stray dog coming,
Yeah, that
can't they get through?
Yeah, it's only for your dog. That's why I want a real fence.
Yeah,
because it
Mom,
doesn't-
because there's
Yeah.
so many stray dogs coming through Claudia's.
No,
you
but
never know. There was a couple.
There is the one dog that comes from the other neighborhood over here, and he'll wander
Mm.
around, and I don't want him coming in the yard with.
They
if
let
we
their
have
dog wander
Florida.
around?
They
think
don't
it got out.
realize. The other day, he was over in our neighborhood. He lives in a different neighborhood, and I've seen him multiple times. And honestly, I was like afraid of him because he had like kind of followed me into war once when we were with Priscilla, and he was kind of not being friendly at all. Like he like looked like he was hunting us. So I never approached him after that. When I see him in the yard or in like the neighborhood, I just like whatever, mind my own business. But the other day, Jesse and I were going for a walk, and he was out. He had come over here and he was just like doing his thing. And so I like walked him basically I didn't touch him, but I was like, come on. And he like followed me back to his neighborhood. And we like said to the owner, he was in like the backyard. Jesse was like, is this yours? Is this your guy or whatever? And he like didn't say anything at first. And then he was like, he's friendly or whatever. And I was like, okay, he might be friendly, but he was like following us, trying to play by jumping up and like nipping at us. And he's a big dog.
Yeah, that's scary. He shouldn't be letting his dog out like
no,
that.
and I was
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
I don't want him coming over here in the yard when we have a dog that's like,
Well, you guys are the same size as a large dog, basically. Okay.
that thing's bigger than me.
Next cat fact. Are you ready?
My neighborhood stories.
Never heard. I thought
like 5 minutes
Never
ago.
heard. I thought Brandon say next cat fact.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, really.
If you get this wrong, or if you interrupt me while I'm saying it, you get executed live on the podcast. Okay. Cats have been a part of human civilization for thousands of years. Cats are first depicted in Roman art dating back to 1950 BCE, meaning they were important to ancient Romans over 4,000 years ago.
I think that's true.
False, because you stumbled on your words.
I stumbled on ancient.
Yeah.
Was it not ancient Romans? It was ancient Egyptians.
Yes, correct.
Oh, that's good, Kennedy.
Good
Romans,
job.
Egyptians, they're very similar.
Hey, but I picked up on
They're
your
not very
lies.
similar, Mom. They're very different. They're completely different.
I'm not gonna lie. Before
Yeah,
I said
Claudia,
that,
you did. Good job.
Brandon, before I said that, I was waiting for you to laugh and say that they're the same thing.
Oh, you guys. Oh my
They're
God.
called something different. How could they be the
They're
same?
so.
Every time I say something like that, it's a gamble of whether it's right or not. I rely on my subconscious.
Well, the Romans did travel to. No, that wasn't the Romans. No, Egyptians were far before the Romans. 1950 BCE.
Next
That's a long
fact.
time ago. Okay, next topic that I wanted to talk about: plastic surgery, good or bad?
Excellent.
Good, baby.
Why?
Because it keeps you
Are we
looking
being
younger.
honest?
Because we got me and Kennedy here who
Because
are el
I did
natural,
not
and now we
have-
got you
It
two.
helps
I had
correct and make you feel
no-
better.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie.
before
I've thought
this.
about a boob job before, but I think ultimately I don't want to have the recovery enough. And also, I just don't really care that much. When I think about things like that, and I'm like, oh, it would be nice. It would be fun to have big boobs or like bigger boobs. And then I just remember that nothing matters and I don't care anymore.
Let me just say, okay. I so appreciate people that are blessed with natural bodies that just have like my desired body. I don't know how to explain it. Obviously, everybody would want to have the things in their mind that like you would get plastic surgery for. You wish they were natural. I wish my boobs weren't naturally this big, but no, I didn't get blessed with them. I had tiny little, barely there titties, and I didn't feel confident. And I also started working out, and so whatever I did have disappeared even more. And it was basically might as well been bare bone because there was nothing there. And
Like nothing at all. It was just like
They were smaller than mine, though, so I will say.
And there was like but also Kennedy has the way that your like anatomy is. It's like you look good. I felt like my chest looked very like narrow and small. Like I didn't feel, I don't know, like in a sports bra, I didn't feel like I looked like open and confident. I felt like I looked like a little like closed off, hunched over turtle. So getting a boob job made me feel more balanced. Like my butt grew from working out, my legs grew, and then getting a boob job. Now I feel very balanced. I feel like I have like a
I
proportionate
think also
body.
for somebody like you who is very into like physique and fitness, that makes sense. Like I obviously care about my body and what I look like, but I've never really fixated on my body so much because there's other things about myself that I would rather change more. But I don't know. Yeah.
I was the opposite because mine were huge. People
but
think
you
that I
also
got
had
a boob
babies
job.
and
Well, yeah, but when I was 18 years old, I had a large chest where I would try to hide it. Like I wouldn't wear regular bras. I would have to wear sports bras to smush them down. And I hated it. So for me, and then when I had the babies, then having babies, it takes like the density away. And then they become like nothing anymore and just skin. So I had to have it filled. It was either that or have them cut off.
so babies
Yep.
basically suck the life out of you.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because they need it.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for me, I mean, it's the same thing. It's to what do we do it in the end for? It's to make ourselves feel better because we're obviously not happy with
Yeah.
something,
So-
and
so do
that
you-
should be okay.
Do you think it was an overall like net positive? Like you think it makes you feel
Yeah,
better?
I think if somebody wants to do that and that's their decision, it's not hurting
Exactly.
anybody else. So
Yeah, I mean,
what does
you
it
have
matter?
to be like, you have to one be making the decision for yourself, but also, when I talk about plastic surgery, I don't mean like, oh, I think people could benefit from getting plastic surgery. No, I benefited from it because it helped my confidence.
Yeah,
whatever
everybody's
other
different.
people do, that's their business.
Right.
It's obviously a surgical procedure. It was fucking hell to recover from. I hated the recovery. But do I regret it? No.
I even think people who want to change, like, you know, themselves, like if they're just not happy with themselves. I mean, I've seen some extreme plastic surgery. You know, if you ever watch Botched.
Oh God, that shows.
That's like insane.
See, there comes a point where those people are just, they are addicted. They have like plastic surgery dysmorphia where it's never enough.
Yeah.
And like.
But I still think that if they want to do it.
With your boob job, if you loved yourself in your mind and you were still confident, but there was this one thing that you had always wanted to change for so many years, and then once you changed that, it was like kind of solved the issue. You know what I mean? So I feel like if it's plastic surgery hand in hand with also like being kind to yourself and not being like, oh, I'm going to get this surgery and then suddenly I'm going to like myself and I'm going to be beautiful and everyone's going to blah, blah, blah. It just doesn't work like that.
What advice would you give to like a 15-year-old girl who like doesn't like the size of her nose, doesn't like the way her face looks, doesn't like her boobs, doesn't like her butt?
Wait until you're 18 at least.
I mean, I waited until I got my boob job when I was 24, and honestly, I didn't hate the way I looked. I really became more comfortable with it. I stopped wearing push-up bras. In high school, I would wear like literally 2-cup push-up bras. Like people didn't know I didn't have boobs because I would wear these thick-ass padded bras. But I got to a point where I stopped really wearing stuff like that. I would wear my tight sports bras with no padding. So I kind of just like embraced the fact that I didn't really have big boobs. And I was content. I was fine. Did I love them? And was I like so happy with them? No, because that's why I ended up getting a boob job once I could afford it and once I felt like I was old enough to like responsibly make that decision for myself. But I will say ever since I was like 14, it was something I always thought about, but I definitely became more comfortable with my body, more happy with myself before I ended up doing it.
I feel like though I went to school with people who like were 15, 16 and had a nose job, but it was also because they like couldn't breathe. Like there was some other things going on, medical.
That. Not physically,
that's what Scarlett's getting.
Yeah, if it's just
a
looks
deviated
only,
septum, and he cannot like. He has to wear those breathe right strips that like expand your nose in order to breathe like how we breathe. But like otherwise, his breathing is so loud.
I would say to that 15-year-old girl, I would ask her, why don't you like these things about yourself? Is it because people are making fun of them? Is it because you're looking at other women and comparing yourself to them? Is it because a boy said something to you? Because that's the hardest part of being a teenage girl and a teenager in general, is you are constantly surrounded by people your own age and you're constantly comparing yourself to them and they're comparing you to other people. I got boys made fun of me for being too skinny and having no boobs, and it for so long made me insecure about my body. And then when I got to a certain age, I was like, their opinions do not matter, and it feels like they matter, but they just don't.
No. I literally feel like every teenager gets like made fun of or bullied somehow, some way.
Once you realize that everyone is so insecure, even the most confident person has things they're insecure about, it's all about how you let yourself handle it. If you really want to change something about yourself and you think that will make you happier, change it. But it's like I've talked about before how I've been insecure about my nose, and because I don't have a perfect tiny little fairy nose, and I've obviously thought about, not seriously, but I've thought about like the hypothetical of getting a nose job. And then I look at like Mom and Aunt Mare and I see myself in their face and I'm like, why would I ever want to change my face?
No, that's funny because I remember taking my mom to the doctor. I made her go with me, a plastic surgeon, because I wanted a nose job.
Meanwhile, your nose is
and I went behind my dad's back because he's like, you don't need it. It wasn't that it's big. It was that it had a bump. I did not like it. And when he told me that he would have to break my nose completely, like he lost me right there. I'm like, I wanted to leave
That's
right
the thing.
then and there.
And then
but
when I think about getting a nose job and how I would see myself afterwards and how I'd be like, oh, I wouldn't care about being photographed from certain angles or anything. It's like, but I don't think that would make me happy. Like I would see that on my face and I'd be like, oh, I felt like I had to change something that like the women in my family gave me.
Well, I think Kenny nailed it. It comes down to, are you changing it for yourself?
Exactly.
Or are you changing it because of the influence of the
What's
other
funny
people?
because you think about, like, for example, Mom, you said you went and to get a nose
went to
job,
get it done,
but you obviously you didn't. But then I look at people who I think look like you, for example, like Sarah Jessica Parker,
right.
especially in like the older seasons, and I think she is so so beautiful the way she is, and like she has a bigger nose. It's not, her nose isn't like a tiny little perfect
I
nose.
think it took me until I was like in my 30s to just be like, you know what, I'm so glad I did not do that, because it would have changed my whole entire face. And like you just said, I'm just happy that, like, I'm going back to what Kennedy said, is that you look like the people in your family. And I think that's a good thing. Like, I want to resemble the people in my family.
I think you're one of the most beautiful women in the world, like probably a little bit because you're my mom and I love you, but also like I see you in female celebrities that I think are so beautiful, like Sarah Jessica Parker and like Julia Roberts and women like that. And I'm just like, you have to accept that there are so many different kinds of beauty in this world. And of course, everybody wants to be perceived as beautiful. Everybody wants people to look at them and think she's so beautiful, he's so handsome, whatever. But ultimately, beauty is very, very subjective.
Wouldn't it be interesting if everyone looked exactly the same?
No, I don't think it would be interesting.
Me and Brandon have had this conversation before.
I was gonna say I appreciate like the models more that have the kind of, you know, the models that have the messed up teeth, for example, or like something's off and
messed up teeth.
Well, yeah, because of that they stand out more.
They have a gap. You mean?
I just think there's like this trend right now where everyone's trying to have like the perfect little like chiclet teeth that they get at the.
I like crooked teeth.
The dentist, the veneers, and perfect skin and perfect hair, and everyone is literally just blending into the same exact look. It's whatever's trending online, everyone just becomes.
But
and
also,
then it doesn't
if
even
something's
become
trending and everyone's
anymore.
starting to look like that, then you'll start to see people hate that and be like, oh, everybody looks like this. I like crooked teeth. So you can never win. That's why you have to form your own opinion somehow, which is really hard because we're constantly being influenced by external things.
Well, I realize this with, this is how it works with both social media and culture, but whatever's trending in the culture at the moment, everyone loves. For example, like cargo pants were hated for so long and now they're suddenly coming back again. Those dad shoes, like the ones that you buy, were hated for so long. You would have made fun of them 5 years ago and now you literally buy them. So it's like whatever is trending in the culture, everyone's like, I want to do that too. It's just the natural tribalism of humans. Like if somebody does something, in the
and
group,
honestly,
everyone else wants to do it.
More natural is becoming more trendy. People are getting lip filler dissolved. People are taking their eyelash extensions off.
Until it goes into that extreme. For me, and then I feel like I've
always been able to see different types of beauty though. And I have heard this before, but I just love it because it's true. But comparing beauty to like different types of flowers, where it's different types of flowers might look so different, but they're both beautiful. And that applies to human beings too. Like I find people beautiful for random, various different reasons. And that's what mom always said to me as I was a kid too. You'd always say, you're a leader, not a follower. And that always stuck with me because I always wanted you to have the best opinion of me. I feel like growing up, the only person who I cared about what they thought of me was mom. And you and Brandon and Claudia.
Oh.
So here's my question then. Let's say you're getting older. Let's say you're 80, 85, 90 now, and you're starting to sag. Everyone sags when they hit around
90,
that age.
I feel like I'm done.
What are you going to do at that point? Because I feel like, just being completely honest here, our family obviously cares about the way we look. Otherwise, you wouldn't have got boob jobs. You wouldn't be wearing makeup. You wouldn't get your hair done.
I think like, wow, I can't wait to get to an age where I'm just invisible, which is fucked. It's fucked up. But like, I don't ever want to like look like I completely let myself go, but I want to be able to like not be out in the world and not be thinking about what other people are thinking of me. And I try so hard not to do that.
I will always care. Always. Have you seen Dolly Parton?
I always care, but I feel like I'm just going to embrace whatever phase of life I'm in. Like, I don't know. I feel like grandma has kind of embraced like getting older, but she still looks great.
Yeah, but she still looks amazing.
You don't have to continue to dye your hair if you don't want to. I mean, it's all about what you want to do. I'll just do what I want to do. And like people think I get someone, apparently, I don't know where this was, maybe on Reddit.
Why do you go on there?
I don't go on there. I didn't. But like someone told me that they saw something of someone saying something about me that I have a pillow face.
What's that mean?
Which means I like get so much filler that I have a pillow face.
Bullshit.
Meanwhile,
so
I've literally never gotten, besides lip filler, I've never gotten face filler. I get Botox.
I would love to see them face to face, and I would love to hear them look into my eyes and tell me that my sister has a pillow face. Because I would slap them.
But no,
I think there's like a whole thing about.
I think a lot of people don't understand that Botox doesn't change the way your face looks. If you're getting excessive amounts, maybe your face won't move as much, but I feel like I don't really look any different with and without it. The only difference is that like I don't have these little fine lines that settle into my forehead.
I was looking at this the other day. Look how much lines I got in my forehead.
Yeah, I mean that's what mine looked like.
Well, anyone who raises their eyebrows up like that is going to have lines.
The thing is that the way to judge that is when you stop doing that, you don't lift, do you still see lines? And if you don't, then you're good. Well, then use Retin-A.
So Claudia might get hate for getting Botox. People calling her fucking pillow face, whatever. That's kind of funny though.
I thought it meant like I was like my face is always smushed into a pillow getting fucked or something.
But
anyhow,
I've never gotten Botox. I probably will at some point. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't care right now. And I had posted a selfie once where I had like very slight lines in my forehead, and I saw it like it posted somewhere, and someone commented on it. It was a man, like she's starting to look old. She's got lines in her forehead, and I was like. So you can't win. That's why I never try.
People write on my body paint videos saying like, you have so many freckles. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly. You can't please everybody.
Freckles. I'm like, I want to write back. No, it's age spots.
Always find something. So it's best to just do whatever the fuck you want and try your very best to not appease people. But that's hard.
Oh, then somebody said, you must sleep in a tanning bed every night. I'm like, that is so rude.
There should be like a rule every time you send like a bad comment or message through Instagram, you have to send like a naked photo to go with it or something.
That's what Brandon would do if he bought Instagram.
Honestly,
you hear that, Elon Musk?
if anyone hates on me about like plastic surgery or fillers or anything like that, I really could give a fuck.
Because listen, anyone who is talking about that is looking at you and thinking, God, she's so beautiful. I need to find a reason to make myself feel better about the fact that I don't like myself.
Well, the way I see it is when there's like two different types of hate on the internet, which is just people blatantly being so fucking mean because they're miserable. But then there's the other side of it where people are so jealous that their jealousy turns into pure anger because they don't know what to do with it, and they can't just accept that like I'm jealous of something that I don't have. So instead they're like, fuck you for having what I want, or like, fuck you for having this and I don't have this, or I'm unhappy. And because everyone has felt jealousy before. Jealousy is not a great feeling to feel because it makes you feel negative. It makes you feel like, what's wrong with me? Why don't I have this? Why don't I look like this? As humans, we've all felt it, and it can turn into anger. And these people get angry and they go to places like Reddit because they feel like they have a community that also feels these negative feelings that they feel. And
that's why Reddit is so dangerous, because there's no way to track it back to you. I mean, there is, but it's hard. And you can go on there and write stuff completely anonymous. I listened to a true crime case about this kid who was a psychopath and ended up becoming a murderer. But he would basically journal his insane thoughts and experiences on Reddit, and it was public, but nobody would see it. So he would be putting it onto the internet in public, but because it's Reddit and Reddit is its own cesspool of whatever, nobody was seeing it until after he actually killed someone, and then they were doing their
It's horrible. I will say I love Reddit for the purpose of like, for example, when I was going through it with anxiety and like thinking I had OCD, and you look up a forum and there's so many people that have experienced the same thing as you, and I think it's great for that. But then the fact that there's Snark pages dedicated to specific people,
it's horrible.
Like, I mean, there's one for our family, there's one for me.
I don't know, we must be pretty fucking interesting if we have a whole page dedicated
I feel like if people have to talk that much shit about you,
they have one for us and then they have one for me.
You hit the next evolution of
literally.
I'm sure they have one for me too.
I don't click on it, and
I used to search my name on Reddit, and it was mostly just like men onto my photos, which I was like, okay, but that's fine. No, it's not fine. Don't do that. But it's not going to make me feel like awful about myself, you know?
Wait, they put the videos of them doing that online?
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
But you guys need to get some help.
I didn't have that.
But the one thing I did come across one time was people comparing me and Claudia and rating us. And that kind of got to me a little bit, because that was something that I struggled with in middle school and high school, was constantly being compared to my beautiful older sister. And I mean, that's just like, Reddit doesn't treat people like people.
That's the kind of stuff you just have to stay away from it. You just have to stay away from it.
Also, anytime I get any sort of like negativity or like people just hating on like anything about me, I think about people like Megan Fox or Kylie Jenner, who are so like have made it in life. They have so much money, they have so much success, and they probably get that hate times a trillion billion. And I'm like, they are just a human, and humans are not designed to handle that. So if they can handle it, I can handle it.
I think as long as it's not put directly in your face.
To be honest, the easiest thing to do is just ignore it. Like you were saying, Ken, that you kind of form your own reality and you like find things that you didn't even know existed. Just fucking ignore the comments. They're gonna keep
you just
happening.
Don't go on there.
And here's the thing. The more well-known you are, the more comments there's going to be. And if you go on there and you like read through all of them in one day, you're going to crush yourself because some of them are going to get to you because it targets an insecurity.
No,
just don't fucking read
just don't
them.
look at it because honestly, like I said, ignorance
the
is
only
bliss.
reason I knew the page existed because I was searching something to like find it for a clip for a video or something. And then
honestly,
it came up.
let's all picture people, like human beings, sitting on their phone, computer, whatever, talking about us. People who have never met us, who have never interacted with us in any real way, having a conversation.
I think it's hilarious.
Claudia Walsh has a pillow face.
I personally think it's just younger girls who are doing it.
It genuinely makes me feel sorry for them. Like it doesn't even, when I really, really think about, comes down to it and you imagine a human being sitting there writing these things.
Kennedy,
what
advice do you have for those people? How can they improve their life?
Get off of the...
Fucking go outside and
get
touch
off
grass.
of the internet. Stop watching YouTube videos. Like go read a book and sit in a park or something and look around at human beings and see.
And you know what's funny too is I can almost guarantee that a lot of these people that are on Reddit writing these things are probably also the ones that write to us like, I love you so much, I watch all your videos. And I'm like,
that or
it's
just,
like you love me so much that you hate me.
They might not be too. I mean, I get messages. The only reason I know about it is because people message me on Instagram and they're like, oh, this bothered me so much. Well, then go report it.
No, when I see mean comments on random people's stuff when I'm scrolling on Instagram Reels or whatever, I report their accounts and I hope that they get fucking banned.
I reported things.
Because I'm just like, sometimes they're so mean to these people for no good reason. And I'm like, this is genuinely awful. And I hope you suffer for what you're saying.
I can't read other people's Instagram comments because I start getting so angry that I want to fight to these random strangers about these other random strangers that I'm watching. So I just have to stay off of that stuff.
Yeah, that's literally how it is on Twitter. It's just a cesspool of people arguing.
I don't go on there ever.
Yeah, it's
I get to a certain point where I'm just like, I can't take any of this seriously. You just have to pretend like it's all just not. That's literally just my coping mechanism for everything these days. Just pretending it's not real. And guess what? Yeah. It works.
Yeah. Well, are you happier? Okay, let's say two scenarios. One, I probably know the answer to this, but maybe there's a better way to phrase this. One, you're on social media the entire day, just scrolling through it, doom scrolling, versus spending the entire day outside, not even touching any technology. Do you feel don't you feel significantly better doing the latter?
Yeah, of course.
I did that on Sunday.
Of course. Interacting with real people is always going to be better for you.
Well, it also just like, it's very grounding. Like it's like a funny thought, but like even going outside and like on Sunday, I spent the day like planting my flowers, whatever, doing whatever outside. And it's like seeing like these people that are like my neighbors that I know aren't on social media the way that I am, because obviously like my career is social media. And it's like, I look at them and I'm just like, see, they don't give a shit about the fucking fillers in my face, I guess. Or like, you know what I mean? Like, it really is so grounding. Like, just like being around people that are just like
real life is completely different than it is
and also that reminds me of times when I've read a really specific or like cutthroat hate comment. And I've been like, oh my God, everybody hates me. Nobody likes me. I'm this, I'm that, I'm blah, blah, blah. And then I go out into public and I'll have like a really kind interaction with a stranger. And then I'm like, oh my God, the world is so much bigger than social media.
Well, here's the thing. You hear all this terrible stuff on social media, but like all the interactions that I have in like normal life out in public, people are always super nice. I very rarely run into somebody or see a situation in public where I'm like, wow, that person's a complete asshole. Sometimes there's like a dickhead in like a store or something, but it's very rare. Like
I come across like an asshole every time I go out in public.
Yeah, but think about all the people who are actually
it depends on where you're going.
I honestly don't think most people are assholes though. I just don't.
Not most, but
I think it's also how you respond to them. Like if you're nice to people in public, they're usually nice to you
there
back.
was a specific situation at the gym, and I'm just going to say it, whether you put it in here, I don't know. There was a bench and nobody was at it. There wasn't a water bottle. There wasn't a phone. There was nothing. No wait. I go over to the bench and I put my stuff down, and this older man comes, probably the same age as me. I don't even know, but he looked older. And he comes over and he said, I was using that bench. And I looked at him and I went, like my brain couldn't even compute what to say, because the first thing I was thinking is, dude, you left nothing there to show that you were at that bench.
Right, you walk away, finders keepers, baby.
Yeah. And then I felt like going, part of me felt like saying, I don't give a shit.
You should be like, and
That
I'm
was the
using
other
it
part
now.
of me. Right. And then I said, I can only imagine what I looked like, because I think my face looked so dumbfounded. I was just like I literally didn't know what to say because all these thoughts were going through me. It's okay. I'll find another one.
Yeah. Well, basic gym
And he
etiquette.
walked away and I'm thinking, yeah, go find another one.
Basic
what?
gym etiquette is if you leave the bench, you don't have any of your stuff on it, and there's no towel, then
How
it's free
was
game.
I supposed to know? Was I
Also,
supposed to be
if
watching him?
An example of how kindness can go such a long way. So Jesse and I had cleaners come to our house. Like, I usually try to find someone to come every 2 weeks. We had these other cleaners and I wanted to try a different company. So I gave this other company a chance because they had really good reviews. And I don't know, we just have a lot of house, and it's hard for me to just do it all on my own or like keep up with it. So whatever, they came and I was like, honestly, I didn't think they did that great of a job. It was kind of just like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I should have just done it myself because I could have done it better. And it was like $350, which is so expensive for just like a quick overall cleaning, whatever. The woman, like the customer service woman, basically, I had to call her still to like give my payment information to pay for it. And I also planned on canceling it when I called. I call and I finally get on the phone with her because we had been going back and forth playing like phone tag. She couldn't get a hold of me, and then I wouldn't answer, and then I would call her back and they weren't open. Finally, we get on the phone and she is so freaking sweet. Like the nicest customer service one I've ever talked to. She's not like customer service. I think she works for the company, but like it's like a smaller company, so their customer service I'm sure is like in-house. But she was so nice and so like sweet and friendly, and talking about the cats because they had asked the names of the cats because they were like, oh, we always like to like address the animals in the house, whatever. And she was talking about them, telling me how she has cats, telling me how we have the same middle name, and she's like, I think we're just like meant to be friends, and like saying the nicest things. And I didn't have the heart to cancel.
I think she knew your ass was trying to cancel.
She didn't.
And she just sold you.
No, she didn't,
She probably heard it. She was like, oh, she's a little bit nervous. I can hear it in her
No,
voice.
Claudia's
No, she
too
didn't.
nice
Are
to
they
do
coming
that.
back?
She was no, because she was always nice in the voicemails too. And she's like, finally, I got you. Like, we have to, whatever. I had to give her my payment info to pay for it. You were supposed to do it like beforehand, but she still had them come because I like hadn't gotten on the phone with her yet. And then also they go through like a survey of basically like, which I feel like this could have maybe been partially why I didn't think it was like that great of a job. They do like a survey before they come to tell you like, okay, what areas do you want us to focus on? This, that, like what's most important to you? Is there anywhere that like your animals sit a lot that you need us to clean? Things like that. So I made sure to tell her those things. So hopefully like the next round will be better. And also it's going to be the same girls, she said. So I'm thinking maybe if I just give them a chance and they get more comfortable.
Yeah,
and, like,
I feel like if you explain it, that definitely.
But I was just like, because she was so sweet, I was like, I don't have the heart to tell this woman that I don't want them to come back here.
You should be like one of those Karens who follows their cleaning people around everywhere and like inspects what they're doing. Can you? That'd be so
Say what you want
terrible.
about Claudia, but she will never be a Karen because she cares too much to not be mean to strangers. And I've never seen Claudia ever be rude to someone who is not her family or her significant other.
No, I literally don't have the heart to be mean to. I mean, unless the only time I've ever been rude, which took so much out of my body, get out of here, Merv. Get out of here. Come on, go. Which took so much.
way.
Yeah, he's being in trouble, but he likes the wires. It took so much out of me was when me and Kenny were in Whole Foods and this man was blatantly fucking staring at my butt so disgustingly. Like he didn't care if I saw him. He wanted me to see him. And I said,
You should have farted really loud.
I said, do you have a staring problem? And
my
I was
God.
my heart was like pounding, but I was like, I cannot say something. And he was like,
What'd he say?
he said, yeah, I'm looking at your ass. I was like,
oh my God.
Wait, when was this?
this was when we lived in Towson.
so horrible.
Yeah, I remember I was because anytime something like that happens, well, at this time in my life, this was probably before I started taking anxiety medication. Anytime something like that happens, I'd be so caught off guard and I would just ignore it and walk away because it's terrifying. But in that moment, I was so utterly shocked that Claudia said something I'd never like seen that before. But you are more likely to say something if it's like a man being gross. I'm talking about like,
well, he was straight up being disgusting. Like I was like, I couldn't believe my eyes that he wouldn't look away. Like I get it. It's one thing if you're just gonna like glance and look. Men are sick. They do that shit.
What type of guys do you think are the most forward? Like older
for
guys?
sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
older.
definitely.
I pay
older.
attention to this a lot in the gym. So like the guys that I see the most, older white guys, and then like middle-aged black guys, for some reason, always
Absolutely.
making comments about the girls. Like a girl will walk by and then I'll see that their eyes be like, and then they'll instantly make a comment. And then I've seen guys literally relocate to different parts of the gym so they can
Ew.
be closer
Yeah.
to the girl
there was
that
a
they
guy
are
at the
staring
gym,
at.
and this woman came up to me once, and she was like, I don't mean to freak you out, but the guy right there next to you, he was literally standing next to us. She was like, he was just taking pictures of you, like of your ass.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, okay, what am I supposed to do in that situation? I'm not going to go up to him. And she ended up reporting it to the manager because she was like, I've seen him doing shit like that before. And like, I just caught him doing it. And the manager, I think, like came down and was like standing around him, like watching him. And I guess he got nervous. But then I think they did say something. He was like, no, I wasn't. But yeah. I
That
feel
takes
like
a
he was.
statement that says, take a picture, it lasts longer, to another
Wow.
meaning.
Yeah, literally.
What are you gonna? They're probably gonna take it home and like to it.
Yeah,
later.
and he
That's
has
why.
a wedding band on too. So I'm like, you're so
Yeah, imagine if his
sick.
wife. Imagine his wife finds his phone roll and it's just like
he
a
could
bunch of
be
girls' asses
selling
from
those
the gym.
photos. He could be posting them on Reddit. He could be doing anything.
Yeah, regardless, it's
could be taking it
illegal.
home.
Like you cannot do that and just get away with it. I mean, they did end up confronting him, I think, and he just like said he wasn't. And like, I think legally they can't say like, show me your.
He could take it
camera
home and
roll.
say, honey, look what I got today.
Yeah, maybe his wife's into it too. She's like, she getting good pictures
I
of the
don't
at the
know.
gym.
People are like that, especially older men. Older
Stuff
couples.
like that makes me so angry. I can't even think about it.
I think recording in the gym is okay as long as you're respectful to the people around you. I will never put my tripod in the middle of a busy gym. If I'm gonna record, I make sure I'm in a corner that there's no one behind me.
Also these days, it's just like there's so much gym content. I feel like it's pretty normal to see someone recording themselves.
Yeah, I feel like you have to go to, if you really are like so against recording, I feel like you have to kind of unfortunately go to a gym where they have like a rule against it, which like my gym obviously isn't, because they're okay with us recording. If they weren't okay with it, I wouldn't record. But I, for example, was there the other day filming just a little clip for like a YouTube video. I always keep it like low key. I don't be obnoxious with it. And there was a girl that was like kind of got in the corner. So I made sure that she was like completely blurred, just because personally I wouldn't want to be in the background of someone's shit, like walking around doing whatever I'm doing if I don't know that I'm in the background of it and then put on the internet. So I
wouldn't want to be in the background even though
Yeah, so
I film.
I just try to be
Here's a
respectful
fundamental
about it.
difference between men and women. Women are born trying not to step on anyone's toes and trying not to piss anyone off, and men don't have that same trait. They're not as socially aware.
No, I've seen plenty of guys in the gym who are they're filming, but they're doing it
No, I'm not saying
discreetly.
that.
They're trying not
I'm
to
not
get in
even
people's
talking
way.
about that. I'm just saying like women have this like it's just programmed into our heads to.
I don't know. I've seen some women that are assholes.
Well, I'm not saying there aren't.
I think that applies. I think
She
it-
was saying women do have more empathy.
I see what you're saying. No, I see what she's saying. I just don't think that applies to like.
Gym etiquette.
Yeah, it's not like an umbrella thing. Like, because I've seen women who are
Some people
complete
in the gym,
assholes in
yeah.
the gym,
Some
and then
people
I've
in the gym
seen
are
guys
jerks.
who are assholes in the gym. And
But what do you see more of?
I see more women filming in the gym in general than guys.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about filming in the gym though.
Being
What,
assholes.
like the way they're acting.
Being assholes.
I haven't seen, like I was saying, I haven't seen that many people who are assholes recently.
I'm just saying I feel like in society, women are way more afraid of the consequences of upsetting someone or stepping on someone's toes.
Especially me. It's kind of painful.
Yeah, me
sometimes,
too.
Honestly,
It's annoying, and I wish that I didn't give a fuck and I just could do whatever I want without being fearful.
same. Because I will literally watch like Jesse will be filming stuff, and I'm like, I'll go over and like move his tripod at the gym, like.
That, and also you just feel more like for lack of a better word, like an easy target. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, a lot of it definitely does come down to confidence, because when Jesse goes into a video, he's always approaching it with so much confidence that people, I've realized this when I'm filming with him, a lot of people don't even seem to care, because if you just follow through with confidence, they don't say anything. But if you look like you're out of place or uncomfortable, that's when they start getting weird.
He has something that I will never have. Like there's something in his body he was born with that it just doesn't exist in mine. Or something in my body that exists that doesn't exist in his, I guess, would make more sense.
Yeah, and of course there's men out there who don't have that confidence and feel like, you know, everything they do, people are watching them and they don't blah blah blah, whatever. Everybody has that, but I feel like
I think there's more people like that than there are super extroverted. Like the people, there's dudes who are like in their 30s now and are still virgins.
Well, at that point it's like work on yourself, figure out what you would like to change. What do you want? They don't self-reflect enough unless it's to hate on themselves.
Well, I think it's a lot of fear, and then it's really easy to start blaming it on somebody else too. By being like, oh, women are just terrible, so I don't want to be with a woman. I don't want to go out in public because there's so many bad things happening that I'm seeing on the internet. And it's like, I really don't think real life isn't as bad as the internet makes it out to be.
Yeah, but are they happy? You're saying they're unhappy?
Yeah, they're unhappy because I just think they're just sitting in fear.
I don't really think that the internet makes real life out to be bad. I think people don't want to exist in the real world because whether they feel invisible or
it's a scary place.
Whatever. So then they turn to the internet, and like there's pros and cons to both.
Well, the way I see it, like let's say you're sitting in your house all the time and you're like addicted to video games or whatever, and you're living in World of Warcraft or Fortnite or whatever.
Or Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, whatever game, Hogwarts Legacy, whatever game exists at this point. I don't know. I kind of look at the real world as just like a game in a sense. It is kind of like a virtual reality game.
Well, what is virtual reality based off of?
It's based off real life.
Real life.
I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. For all we know, we could be in a simulation right now.
I think for some people it's their escape, and if that makes them happy and they feel good
if you don't look at life as a game, you're gonna really fucking struggle.
Okay,
like making money in a sense is a game. Like getting into a relationship or like going on a date with a girl.
That's how your brain works.
But that's what it is. Everything's a game. You on social media posting things and getting likes and making money from it is a game. If you get less numbers, you're not as happy as when you get higher numbers. That is a game. You're playing a game.
It's not
every single thing that you do is a game.
It's not like the game I'm
playing. That's definitely a way to look at things.
There's magic in that one.
It's a way to look at it. Doesn't mean that's the only right way to look at it.
That might work for you, for your brain, for the way that you think, but not everybody thinks like you. So people need...
Yeah, I don't play games.
Like I think like that.
You play this game.
I think like that too, Brandon, but somebody like Claudia wouldn't think like that because she doesn't give a fuck about games and she doesn't...
Then how do you think about it?
I don't feel the need to put it into a category.
Yeah, but what makes you care to like play the social media? I don't want to call it a game, but
to do social media because that's what it is.
Yeah, but
she makes money.
Why do more? Like, why go further? Why push it further? Why get more numbers? Why make more money?
It brings me joy.
But why? What is it? The process? Is it the comments?
I like doing it. No, it's fun to me. It's almost like a hobby.
Like a game.
No, it's a hobby. A hobby is not a game.
So she sees it more as a hobby. You see it more as a game. Everybody sees the things that they enjoy as different things, but I feel like us thinking of life as a game makes you take everything less seriously. That's why I like to smoke weed, because it makes everything feel even more like a game.
You can consider anything that you want to consider it what you want to consider. I just don't see
the difference between that and then doing it inside of like...
That's how your brain works. That's not how everyone else's brain works.
The thing is, you and Claudia have just different mindsets. Like Claudia is more of like a realist, and you I don't know, you hop from like whatever. Yeah, you've changed your mindset tons of times.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I'm asking, one of the other reasons I'm asking is because I do think that social media at the end of the day is a big game, and I think the payoff. So whenever you play any kind of game, like why do you play Hogwarts Legacy? You're probably trying to level up or something, right?
No, I play it because I'm a witch, a real witch on there.
I think people play social media.
Yeah, it's a numbers game.
Yeah, people play social media because of the likes, maybe the money if you're actually big enough to even be monetized, but then the dopamine hit or the feeling that you get when somebody like reacts to something that you put out. But then there's the other side where if you can get the bad shit, you put out something that people either find controversial or they dislike it for whatever reason, and then you get like the bad side of things. I don't know. I just think that the whole like incentive structure of social media, it is a game at the end of the day, because you can literally, it's the same as any other game that exists.
Yes, but also you can you can look at life as a game. I understand what you're saying. You can look at anything as a game, but it's just not everyone does do that. Because anything like that brings you dopamine. So does eating sugar, eating a fucking big ass cookie. Like, yeah, that brings me dopamine too. But does that mean it's a game? No. I mean, I guess you could say dieting is a whole game, but
no.
Brandon's overheating.
If you listen closely, you'll hear tons of air coming out of him.
All right, it's time to end it.
Yeah, my fan's on overdrive right now, and the camera's fan is also on overdrive.
The camera's gonna explode, and
the cats are gonna eat the wires.
Anyway, we're living in a simulation. Fuck
our next
everything.
Our next podcast has to not be about the world and social media, because I feel like that's all we talk about.
Please include debate topics for the next podcast so we can overheat Brandon's brain once again.
Okay, we gotta go.
Bye.
Bye.